Today, we are going to do directing part 2. And in this, we're going to study the various elements of directing and understand the concept of motivation and also Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Now, there are 4 elements of directing: supervision, motivation, leadership, and communication. And this year, in your syllabus, you just have a mention of supervision as an element of directing. You don't have to study it in detail. So let's see what supervision is. Now, supervision is a process of guiding the efforts of people. Super and vision, there are 2 words, super plus vision. Supervision means overseeing the work of the subordinate from above. That means overseeing the work of the subordinate by the superior. So that is one element of directing. Now come to the second element of directing, that is motivation. Now, what is motivation? Motivation is the incitement or inducement to do some work. And it is an internal feeling. Nobody can motivate you. Only you can motivate yourself. And it is a process of making the subordinates act in the desired manner. Now, motivation is very important for managers. If they're able to motivate the subordinates, then they won't have to work too much on it. The subordinate will himself keep on working. And motivation is a process. You have to keep on motivating the subordinates all the time. Now, to understand what motivation is, there are certain terms that we need to understand. First is motivation is an inner state that energizes. Motivation comes from within. Now, let us say your exams have just got over and now your mother is telling you to start studying. So you'll keep the book open in front of you because she's been telling you to study. So you'll keep it open, but you may not even read a single word. One day before the exam, you can read the entire book. But just after the exam, even one word you're not able to read. Now, this is motivation. One day before the exam, you know tomorrow is the exam. So the motivation level is so high and it's an inner feeling that immediately you start studying. But once the exams are over, you don't feel like doing it. So this is called motive. Motive means that inner feeling that energizes you to do some work. Like, for example, hunger. If you're hungry, you go about looking for food. So that is a motivate. That is the motive to go about looking for food. Then comes motivation. Motivation is actually a process. It goes on and on. Remember when you were very small, your parents bought you a tricycle and so happy you were. Then you grew up a little bit and they bought you a cycle and that gave you so much of pleasure. Maybe now you have a 2-wheeler and you're aspiring to get a 4-wheeler, that is a car. So the motivation is a process. It keeps on changing. For everybody, it keeps on changing. So what motivated you when you were a kid may not motivate you now. So the second thing that you need to know about motivation is that it's a process. Then motivators. Motivators are the techniques. Now somebody can be given positive motivation, somebody can be given a negative motivation. So positive motivation means you may be given some reward, and negative motivation means some punishment. So these are the terms that are related to motivation. Now, what are the features? Now, in your syllabus, it says concept of motivation. Now, concept of motivation includes the definition and the features. So first features, it is an internal feeling. It comes from within, the drive that you have. Now, somebody might be driven by some force, somebody might be driven by another. So it differs from individual to individual. Then it produces goal-directed behavior. Your behavior should change. If your behavior does not change, then that is not called motivation. So a child was not doing anything and the mother said, okay, you go and get sugar from the market. I'm making something and I'm running short of sugar. Please go and get it from the market. And the child was not going. So till mother said, okay, now that ball that you're talking about, that cricket ball, you go and get that also. Like this, the child went and came back because now motivation had been added. So the behavior changed. So motivation should change the behavior of a person. It should be a goal-directed behavior. So if somebody is given promotion, that is also part of motivation. So when you are given promotion, your performance becomes better because you feel so happy about it, satisfied. That motivates you to do better. Then motivation can be positive or negative. A promise of reward is a positive motivation. Like if you see that you might be promoted, that's a promise of reward. Or a threat of punishment. You may be told that you are not going to get any increment, or you will not get any promotion, or you will be transferred, or some threat is given to you. So that will also encourage you to do well. And then it's a complex process. Man is a heterogeneous person. If I tell you what is your favorite food, then your favorite food may not necessarily be mine. So what I like, you may not like. So if somebody wants to get work done from you and they promise your favorite food, maybe you'll do it. But if somebody promises the food that you like to me, maybe I will not do it. So motivation is very complex. No two people can be motivated by the same thing. So the manager really needs to know what is going to motivate this person at this particular point of time. So let's start with Maslow's need hierarchy. Now Maslow has given 5 needs. He's divided all the needs into 5 categories, starting with the basic need, that is food, clothing and shelter, roti, kapda aur makan. So everybody wants these needs and we cannot survive without these needs. Then the second needs are safety and security. So once you have food, clothing and shelter, once your stomach is full and you've got clothes, then you start thinking about safety needs. So when we go out of a house, we lock our house. Similarly, for the organization, people look for a safe job. They want job security, they want pension, etc. in the job. Then the third need, according to Maslow, is affiliation or belonging need. Now, man is a social animal. So man always wants to stay in the society. So they want to make friends. That is why we have got WhatsApp group. We have friends on Facebook. We go to birthday parties and weddings, etc. So in the organization also, employees, they want to have friends there, that everybody should meet with them. And then comes esteem needs. Now we want recognition. When we go out, we want people to recognize us, to wish us, to respect us, etc. So everybody seeks attention. This is called esteem needs. Similarly, in the organization also. So if a worker is working in an organization, but he's not getting due attention, then this need is not being satisfied. And then comes self-actualization need. So everybody is holding you in high esteem, like Mother Teresa and Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi was called the father of the nation, and Mother Teresa won the prize for Nobel Prize for peace. Still, they wanted to do more and more. So this comes under the self-actualization need, which means growth and self-fulfillment. So these are the 5 needs that Maslow had categorized. He said there are 5 needs every person has, and it is in this particular hierarchy. This is called hierarchy of needs, but it is based on certain assumptions. So what were the assumptions? People's behavior is based on their needs. So people behave according to the needs. If the need is not fulfilled, they will not behave properly. Suppose you are feeling very hungry. So first will be to fulfill your stomach. Then only you will be able to concentrate. Let us say you're studying late at night and now you're studying and now you're feeling hungry. So you go to the kitchen looking for things to fill your stomach. And once you have eaten something, let's say Maggie or something, then you can again go back to studies. Otherwise, every 5 minutes, your thought goes back to kya khaye, kya khaye. So people behave according to their needs. Similarly, in the organization also. So their needs should be satisfied. Otherwise, they will not be able to concentrate on the work. Then people's needs are in a hierarchical order. So it starts from the basic needs and then you go up. So there was a beggar who used to beg on the railway station, and he just had one small belongings which he used to put in a bag and keep it below a bench. In the morning, he would just push the bag below the bench and then go about begging, and at night he would just take out the sheet from there and lie down and sleep. He didn't have anything. He didn't need to lock it and go anywhere. Why? Because there was no security need. There was no need for him to have any security because his basic need itself was not fulfilled. So the needs are in hierarchical order. One by one, the needs are fulfilled. Then a satisfied need can no longer motivate a person. So once you are satisfied, then only that satisfied need no longer motivates a person. Again, I'll tell you the example of a beggar. Once a beggar had gone begging to a house and that person said, okay, you mow my lawn. Mere lawn ko mow kar do, I'll give you food. So the beggar was so hungry, he said, you first give me food, then I'll mow your lawn. So that fellow said, okay. So the beggar ate his full and he packed some for dinner also. So then he mowed the lawn. While he was mowing the lawn, the neighbor saw. So neighbor said, okay, I'll also get my lawn mowed by this beggar. All I need to do is to give him food. So as the beggar was leaving, the neighbor called him. He said, okay, you mow my lawn, I'll give you food. Now the beggar had already eaten and he had already packed for the night. So the beggar said, no, if you give me clothes, then only I will mow your lawn. Because that need was already satisfied, hunger was already satisfied. So once a need is satisfied, that can no longer motivate a person. and a person moves to the next need only when the lower need is satisfied. So this is an hierarchical level. You cannot go to the fifth need and then come back to the fourth, and then go to the third, then come back to the first, and then again go to the fourth. Like that, you can't keep jumping. You have to take one step at a time, and you have to, this is how you rise higher up the ladder. So these were the assumptions on which the need hierarchy of Maslow was based. Now that brings us to the case study. We'll first read the question that has been asked, and then from that viewpoint, we'll look up what's been asked in the. By quoting the lines from the above para, identify the needs of Huma, which she was able to fulfill. So what needs? Now there are 5 needs according to Maslow, 5 needs. Also explain 2 other needs of Huma followed by the above needs, which still remain to be satisfied. Okay, and this case question came in CBSE 2014. So let's read. Huma is working in a company on a permanent basis. As per the job agreement, she had to work for 8 hours a day and was free to work overtime. Huma worked overtime, due to which she fell ill and had to take leave from her work. No one showed concern and inquired about her health. She realized that she was fulfilling only some of her needs and some other needs still remain to be fulfilled. Okay, so there are 2 parts of the question. So I'll give you a moment to recollect and answer. Yes, you got it correct. So here the question says that she has got a permanent job. That means the basic need is fulfilled. So permanent job also means that safety needs are also fulfilled. Now let's come back to those needs which have not been fulfilled. And here it says that no one showed concern. Nobody showed any concern towards what she had done. So because nobody showed any concern, therefore that means that social needs were not fulfilled. Now, I'll again go back to this case study. Here they say also explain 2 other needs of Huma followed by the above needs. So Maslow said that the needs are in hierarchy. So basic 2 needs, the first 2 needs have been fulfilled. The third has not been fulfilled. Obviously, the fourth has also not been fulfilled. So here they're only talking about no one showed concern, but the 2 other needs that still remain to be satisfied are social needs and esteem needs. Is that clear? Esteem needs are not given here in this question, but followed by these 2 needs are these 2 needs only, and therefore it is social needs and esteem needs. And that's all in this video, children. Thank you.